it is time for the annual tier ranking of every single book I read in the year, in 2024. So let's go over the tiers. The top one, You Are the Best Thing That Ever Happened to Me, self-explanatory. It was life-changing and was quite literally the best thing that ever happened to me, but they're all the best thing that ever happened to me. Second tier, I love you, but you didn't change my life. I just really enjoyed my time with you, and I would marry you. You were good. I'm waiting for you to be great. Self-explanatory. I liked you, but there was you could have given me more. I wasn't utterly obsessed. I didn't love you. Next tier, meh, fine, whatever. The next tier, will never not cry over this. I sobbed while reading this, and when I think about it, I could cry all over again. I expected so much more from you. These were anticipated releases for whatever reason, or anticipated books, and they did not live up to those expectations for whatever reason. The next one, I will throw tomatoes at them. If they were on a stage in front of me at a talent show, I would throw a tomato. Just kidding, I would never actually do that, but metaphorically, does that make sense? I don't know. Okay, I read 195 books, and these are the books. I hope I got them all, and hopefully I didn't accidentally repeat any. We'll find out as I go along. I don't feel like looking at all of them individually. Okay, the first one, I think these were in alphabetical, by the way. I'm not sure. It looks that way, though. Lots of A's here. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. This one, I expected much more from, just because of how hyped up it is. It is probably the most hyped up mystery thriller, YA mystery thriller ever, and I felt like it was a little slow and boring and predictable, so it wasn't my favorite. And I also feel like the romance gets really hyped up, and it was just kind of there for me. I didn't fall in love with anything about this book, and I really wanted to love it, so that was disappointing. The next one, A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire, is going in this same tier. I loved From Blood and Ash so much, especially with the way it ended. I was so excited to jump into the second book and just get right in there, and it was really slow, really repetitive. Didn't love it. I feel like this could have been so amazing, and it wasn't. Addicted After All. Okay, I get confused with all these books because they have some similar titles. I think this is the last Lillian Lowe book. If it is, I loved it. I love you. I love you. I love every book in this series, even the ones I don't like. I feel like I love because of the side characters and the found family and the little scenes we get of the other couples, and just the whole saga is just so beautiful. I love this book. I love this series so much. Probably my favorite series ever. All the Lies. Oh, and then there's All the Truths. Which one goes first? All the Lies, I think, was the first one. This one was a tomato. Not good. Really boring. The plot twist was the only reason I didn't give it 1 star, because I didn't see it coming, and it was actually a good plot twist. The second one was better, so I'll put it in meh, fine, but I also didn't really love that one. I don't think Rena Kent is for me. I think this is the 3rd and 4th book I read from her. None of them have really hit, so I need to give up on her. After All This Time, this was meh, fine. It was okay. I don't really know what to say about this one. It was just, I don't know, a little annoying, I guess, and immature. So not my favorite, but it wasn't the worst thing ever. An Education in Mouse. I actually really like this one. You Are Good. I'm Waiting for You to Be Great. I feel like there was just something missing, and I can't even pinpoint what it was. I don't know. Maybe it was the pacing. It was a little bit, a teeny bit slow. I don't know, but I really enjoyed my time with this one. I thought it was really good. Even the ratings are horrible. I don't really get why. I thought it was really interesting. I liked the relationship. I liked the characters. I liked the exploration of teacher-student relationships, and I just thought the way it explored that relationship was very interesting. And how do I explain this? I feel like it went into the repercussions of that instead of romanticizing it. I mean, it was a little romanticized, but I feel like, I don't know, I just see a lot of teacher-student romance as being advertised. I'm having such a hard time getting this out, but this one, I feel like it actually like talked about the repercussions seriously. But I don't know, what I'm saying. I just thought this was good. Okay, it was good, and there's vampires, and vampires are super duper fun. Antibot, I love this one. Or should I put it right here? Okay, fine, I'll put it in You Were Good, I'm Waiting For You to Be Great. It was really, really, really good. I loved the discussions on emotionally and verbally abusive relationships and sexually abusive relationships, because I feel like those are just not as talked about as physically abusive relationships, and he was never physically abusive with her, but he was still obviously abusive, and I just liked what discussions this book brought out. I was disappointed with the ending. I feel like it was very abrupt, and it could have been a way more powerful ending. I feel like this could have been a 5-star if the ending was better. The Ashes and the Starkers King, I love you. A lot of people were disappointed with this one. I thought it was so much fun. I love the banter. I love Rain. I love Oriah. I love everything. Okay, yes, there probably should have been a better revenge arc, but I just decided I didn't care because I had so much fun while reading this, so whatever. Bad Habit. Throws tomatoes. Yeah. Don't have much to say about this one. Don't really think about it that often. I just remember it wasn't that good. It was really immature. Didn't really care for the characters. Didn't really care about anything. Barriers and Belonging. This is one of the only nonfiction books I read. I don't know. With nonfiction, I feel like I'm never in love with the books, even if they're really good. This one was really, really good. It's about people with disabilities sharing their story or their families sharing what it was like growing up with them. It was very, very interesting. I had to read this for one of my college courses, and I really enjoyed the stories actually, and I like that it delved into so many types of disabilities, some that you have never heard of before, and there was just so many life lessons in here. It was really, really good. But I don't know, I just feel like I can't put it up here because I like these books. The books I'm gonna put here, I just think about all the time, and I feel like nonfiction books, I'll read it and it'll be like right in the moment, and the lessons I'll take with me, but I just don't really think about the book itself. If that makes sense. I don't know why nonfiction just doesn't hit that spot for me the same way fictional books do. Belladonna. I loved it. I am so excited to continue this series. I really liked the gothic mystery historical setting. I love gothic fantasy. I love historical fantasy. And when you mash them up together, you get a masterpiece. And this was a masterpiece. I feel like it was so, so good. I really liked Signa. I feel like I really liked her character. She was kind of unique. I feel like in most YA fantasies now, you get very violent FMCs, and that's great. I love them sometimes. But this was just so refreshing to just get like a girly girl who's a little naive and just, I don't know, it was just cute, but also gothic at the same time. It's just everything I wanted. Beach read. I love you. Actually, should I keep it here? Okay, maybe I will. You Were Good, I'm Waiting For You to Be Great. There were some things about it that bothered me. I feel like the third act breakup was really, really annoying, and Gus could have communicated so much better. There was a scene at the end where she thought, okay, I can't even say it. I can't even explain without spoiling, so never mind. But just the way he was like dragging out the conversation made me so upset. And I just feel like I didn't connect to these characters as much as I've connected to like Alex for People We Met on Vacation, or Harriet, or Win, or just her other characters, like some of those 5-star books that she wrote. This one just didn't hit as hard. I still really liked it though. Gave 4 stars, and it's super, super annotated. But for whatever reason, didn't hit that spot. Billy Summers, Doris Tomato. There were so many problematic elements in this that I found, and I'm just surprised they don't get talked about more. The characterization of the female character, the main female character, was so bad. It was awful. She did not feel like a character. She was obviously a plot device and just stereotypical, like, manic pixie dream girl, just like this perfect girl who never does anything wrong, never thinks anything wrong. It just, I don't know. I did not like it. I feel like it was very unrealistic. Also, the way she reacts to certain things that happen and the way she acts after certain things just felt not like how a girl would react after that sort of trauma. And I'm so surprised that editors didn't say like, hey, this is not what we would do. We would not act this calmly with this random strange 50-year-old man after being assaulted. I don't think that's a spoiler because it's like the whole plot, but anyway, I just thought it was really weird, and the sorta romantic thing between them made me super uncomfortable. Blue Sisters. Okay, this one I DNF'd, so I probably shouldn't even be in here. And I wasn't even bad. It was a soft DNF. Just wasn't in the mood for it. It was just fine what I read, and I feel like the reason it was just fine and not amazing or great was because I was not in the mood. I feel like if I read it at a different time, I would eat it up. Blood of Hercules. I expected more from you. It was just a lot more immature and kind of ridiculous than I was expecting. Just from I heard what it was about and it sounded so good. This it's Greek mythology, right? Yeah. It's like Spartans. Okay. This Greek mythology boarding school. I love Greek mythology and I love boarding school fantasy settings, so I just expected better. And it didn't live up to that, but I'm still gonna continue the series because I'm kind of sort of intrigued with where it's gonna go. It's sort of insane. The whole plot is kind of ridiculous, and the relationships, everything, the characters, even everything's kind of ridiculous. But I'm intrigued. Really, it was kind of entertaining, even though it's also disappointing. It's a weird one. The Book of Doors, I love this one. If this one I expected more from, this one I did not. This one exceeded my expectations. I was not expecting to love this as much as I did. I just read it kind of on a whim, and blew me away. That plot twist, incredible. And the breadcrumbs you get leading up to this twist. Oh my gosh, I feel like this book is genius. And when I found out he was debut author, I was flabbergasted because this was one of the most well thought out books I've ever read. You can just tell the author thought about everything before writing, and oh my gosh, so good. The plot twist, so good, so good. Bound by Hatred. I expected more from you. I read the first book in the series and then decided I wasn't going to continue because I just wasn't my thing. But I decided to read Bound by Hatred, and it's the only book I'm going to read from the series because the breadcrumbs we got of Gianna and Matteo were so good, and I love the banter and the tension and everything, and their characters and individuals. So it's I really want to read their book. It's gonna eat. It did not eat. It was really lusty, and I wanted more of an emotional thing. It just didn't hit. I expected so much more. I really wanted to love them together, but I didn't. It wasn't terrible. It was a 3-star. Okay, fine, but for what the breadcrumbs were, this could have served, and it just didn't. Bound by Ravens, you were good, but forgettable, I guess. It's very similar to other romances. It was good. I had a good time in the moment, but I don't think about it much just because it's so similar to other books I've read. Bride. I don't know where to put this. It's fine, I guess. I didn't love it, but I guess it wasn't the worst thing ever. I don't know, it's just kind of there. I never think about it, and when I was reading it, I was just kind of bored, but I wasn't bored enough to DNF, so yeah, it's just fine. For brown girls with sharp edges and tender hearts, I had to read this for one of my classes. Where are we gonna put this? I guess it's kind of the same thing as barriers and belonging. We'll put them next to each other. It's just nonfiction, so I don't know why nonfiction's just never hit for me. It doesn't matter how good the book is. It'll be good in the moment, but I just won't think about it. I won't revisit it. I don't know. Fiction is just where my love for reading is, clearly. I mean, it was good. I feel like there were so many good ideas, and I like that the author wasn't scared to say things. I feel like sometimes when I read nonfiction, people are just scared to say things, and even in real life, people are scared to say things that they're thinking. I feel like this author did not shy away from scary or controversial topics. She just said it, and I appreciate that. And it was a very interesting read, and I feel like I learned a lot, so it was good. And honestly, there was nothing that she could have done to make it better. So, like, Waiting for You to Be Great, I'm not waiting. I don't know. Same with Barriers and Belonging. They were both really good, and I wouldn't change anything about them, but it's just, it's the genre. I don't know why I do this. City of Ashes. This was actually so much better than I expected. Oh my gosh, my computer's crashing out a little bit. You were good. I'm waiting for you to be great. Like, as soon as this incest plotline stops, you're gonna be up here. Because I'm really enjoying the plot and the characters. It's only book 2 and I'm already falling in love. I feel like we're definitely gonna have some 5 stars in this universe. Collided. This was one of my least favorite books of the year. It was a 1 star. Nothing really redeeming about it. I didn't like it at all. Didn't like the characters. It was super lusty and not nearly as much emotional, which Lauren Asher usually does the emotional thing really well. So I was surprised that this came from her. Definitely her worst book, in my opinion. The main guy, oh my gosh, everything that came out of his mouth was an innuendo. And I can have fun with an innuendo. Oh my gosh, innuendo. But this, like, every word out of his mouth, it didn't matter how serious the scene was. He would just like comment on her butt or her boobs, and I was just like, okay, you're giving me the ick. You are. I don't know why I keep going up and down. I just like looking at the visual. I think it's so nice. It's gonna look so good when I'm all done. Okay, the new couple in 5e. Fine. Meh. It wasn't great, but it wasn't the worst thing ever. It was just kind of okay. I didn't really like the plot twist. But I don't know. I just didn't hate it, I guess. Nothing about it made me hate it, but nothing about it made me love it. Cress, you were good. I'm waiting for you to be great. This followed my favorite character in the series, and I really wanted so much from his book, and it just didn't live up to it. I feel like Thorn is more enjoyable as a side character. I hate to say that. I was so excited for this book. Okay, you know what? Actually, this is going to go down here. Now that I'm thinking about it, I was so excited to read this and get his book and his romance, and it just wasn't great. I also feel like as love interest, she wasn't my favorite. I don't know. I feel like I wanted someone who more matched his chaotic energy. Crooked Kingdom. I love you. I love you so, so, so much. My favorite book on this tier so far. This book sticks with you. It sticks with you. There was something that happened in this book that I will never forget, and I will never not cry over. This book could also be in Will Never Not Cry Over This, because I could cry. I watch edits sometimes, and I cry. 6 months after reading the book, I will cry. It was the most devastating thing ever. Actually, the second most devastating thing ever, because the first most devastating thing ever, we'll get to it later. But this one, oh my gosh, heartbreaking. Heartbreaking. But the book is so good, and the writing and the quotes and the relationships. There's 3 relationships in this book, and they all are so good, and the plot is so good, and the plot twist. Everything about this duology is my favorite thing ever. I love it. The Cursed. You were fine. I don't know. I feel like the books in this year I just don't have much to say about. They were not terrible, not great. It was just kind of there. It was fine. I don't ever think about this duology. I feel like as a conclusion it could have been so much better, especially with how the first book ended off. That plot twist and that cliffhanger was nuts. And the second book, I don't know. I feel like it just could have been better. Dance of Thieves. You're good. I'm waiting for you to be great. I think I'm mixing up the second one and the first one. I don't know. I remember one of the books I thought was too political, not enough romance, but that might be the second book that I'm thinking of. The first book was a 4 star, so I know there was something about it that bothered me too. Oh, insta love. Okay, the first book I didn't like the insta love. If it wasn't insta love and it built up to their relationship slower, it could have been a 5 star. I loved it. I think the second one is the one where it was too Baltic heavy for me. A Dance with Dragons. I actually really like this one. I'm waiting for you to be great. Yeah, I just feel like I don't know what it is about this series. It's good, but I'm never obsessed with it. None of the books have just hit that feeling. This one got really close, though. Okay, maybe not really close, otherwise it would have been I Love You. But, okay, it was Theon's chapters. Theon's chapters were incredible. I just want to highlight that. The rest of them, though, I feel like were just good. I don't know how to explain this series. I don't know why. Because, like, what would I change? Maybe make it a little shorter? Cut out some point of views. Okay. Actually, I guess I can explain it a little bit. If I think about it that way. It's just too long, kind of meandering around a little bit. Some point of view chapters could be cut out. Okay, so it's good. Not great. Daughter of Smoke and Bone. I did not like this at all. The plot, I feel like, was very unique and had so much potential. I just didn't like the relationship. I felt like it was kind of ridiculous. Insta love. The characters were kind of realistic, like ridiculous. Everything was kind of ridiculous. The plot twist was okay, I guess. But, yeah, I just don't like this. The dialogue is also so silly. And that's me being generous. Daydream by Hannah Grace. I don't know where to put this one. I thought it was incredibly boring. I did not like it at all. I almost DNF'd multiple times, but my sister bought it for me, so I felt bad DNFing, so I forced myself through it. But I did not like it. It was so boring. One of the most boring books I've ever read. So much filler, and I just could have done without it. Daughter of No Worlds, I loved you. I love you. I love the romance. I love Tisana. I love it. I'm so excited to read the next book in this series. I'm going to read it in January. I'm going to do a buddy read with my friend, and I'm so excited because the plot and the characters, the romance, everything about it is so good. Oh, I love Tisana so much. She's so cute. Okay, I love this one. I'm so excited to read the second book. My December Darling. You were good. But just, like, not the best thing ever. I guess I've read better holiday novellas. This one was good, though. It was cute. I like the Legos. They play Legos together. That's just adorable. But I'm trying to think of what was missing. I guess it was just a little cringy. Yeah. That's about it. It was just cringy. I like a little bit of cheese in my romance books, but not too much cheese, and I feel like this one veered into a little bit too much cheese for me. Dial A for Holidays, I did not like this at all. I really wanted to, but I just feel like it was so ridiculous and far-fetched. I didn't like it. And I own the second book, but I honestly don't know if I'm gonna read it. I might just take it to a little free library because I really didn't like this, and I'm probably not gonna like that one either. Dishonestly Yours, I really liked. I heard a lot of people were disappointed. I don't know if it's just me being biased towards Kristen and Becca Ritchie, but I loved it. I loved Rocky and Phoebe. I feel like their banter was so much fun. Their dynamic, the relationship dynamic was so much fun. I don't know. I just like it. And them as characters. Also, Phoebe is so funny in Rocky. I love the grumpy guy who's protective. It's just so good. And I'm so excited to read. I'm so excited for the next books in the series to come out. So excited. Also, this cover is so pretty. I'm obsessed with it. Oh my gosh, me looking at all the other books here. We have so much to go over. Done and Dusted. This is another I Love You. It was super short, which I liked how short it was. Just because I feel like so many romance books are getting so long nowadays. This one was just short and sweet and perfect. I loved it. I loved the relationship. I liked the characters. Some people said it was too smutty. I didn't think it was. I feel like it was a good amount of spice. And a good amount of emotional connection. I did not feel like this was too spicy. I feel like there are so many books that you could say that about. This one, I just don't agree with that criticism. And I've been hearing that a lot, and I'm just kind of confused. Because I feel like there was definitely emotional depth to this book with her PTSD and everything. So, I don't know. Just had to throw that out there that I just disagree with that critique that I've been seeing all over the place. Also, the covers are so good. I love them. Dreamwalker. This was good. It's the first book in a series and its debut, so this is a good place for it to be. I feel like this author can grow and the series can grow and it can go up here eventually. There was also a plot twist near the end, and I'm excited to see where that goes. So I will continue the series whenever the next book comes out. But I do feel like it was a little bit generic, I guess. It was a love triangle, and it was like the most generic type of love triangle, like grumpy guy, friend, nice guy, you know. It's just kind of a boring love triangle dynamic. We've seen it so many times. It's like the most basic one. An Ember in the Ashes. I loved it. Actually, oh gosh, okay. You were good. I'm waiting for you to be great. I feel like there's for sure going to be a 5-star in this series. I actually just picked up the second book at the library. I know this book is going to eat, or this series is going to eat. I feel like it can only go better from here. This one was already so good, and I think about it very often. It was just a little repetitive. I feel like some things could have been cut out because it was just the same thing over and over again. But it was still really good, and I like the idea, and I like the world, and I love the characters so much. I'm so excited to continue this series. I feel like there's definitely going to be a 5-star in here, maybe a 6-star. I have very high hopes for the rest of this series. The eyes are the best part. I'm throwing tomatoes. This was supposed to be a horror book. Look at the cover. Like, it's obviously supposed to be a horror. It felt like a literary fiction for the first 80%. Like, nothing horrific was happening. And I heard people saying it was like slow horror, which I guess is just not for me. Like, if I'm reading a horror book, I want to get to the horror, you know? I don't want it to feel like literary fiction for 80%. If I wanted literary fiction, I would read literary fiction. It was just not my favorite. I also feel like it was very surface level feminism. Like, this is supposed to be a feminist book, and I am a feminist. I like reading feminist books, but this just felt like girls good, guys bad. It just felt very surface level and kind of ridiculous. Not a fan. Ferris by Marissa Meyer. You were good. It's a novella for the villain. It's like her villain origin story. It was fine. I wish we got a little deeper into how she became the way she was, though, because that's the whole point of an origin story. And I feel like she was just that way since she was a child. And I just wish it built up to her being a villain more instead of her just being born that way. I just feel like that's kind of boring to me personally. Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. I didn't like this one. It was fine. I guess it wasn't the worst thing ever. There were some scenes that I thought were so cute, and I love Emily and Wendell together, but I don't know why this book didn't hit. But then I'm going to talk about the second book. Can I find it here real quick? Because it would just be easier if I could talk about them at the same time. Okay, there it is. This is so glitchy. Okay. It's weird because the first one was just like, I didn't like it, and I was debating even starting the second one, but I was like, okay, I already got it checked out at the library, I already put a hold on it, let's just read it, I guess. Give it a go, see if it gets any better. Tell me why this was a 5-star. And one of the best books I read all year. It was in my top, I don't know if it's in top 10 or top 15, but I loved this book. It made me so giggly and happy. I loved the relationship. I loved the plot. I loved everything about this. I have no critiques whatsoever. This was so much fun. One of the most fun books I read all year. Like, it was just a giddy, jolly good time the entire way. I loved it, and I love Emily and Wendell together. Their banter and bickering is so much fun. It was just, this book just felt like a breath of fresh air. Like, every time I picked it up to read, I was just smiling ear to ear. I had so much fun, and I don't know why. I feel like I need to reread the first book. Maybe I just wasn't in the right mood, because the first book was, I didn't like it, and I don't understand why. Why did I not like this one? But then I was so obsessed with the second one. I don't get what happened. But that's where I stand with that. I'm so super excited for the third book now. Enemies to Lovers. This was good, but I feel like some of the jokes were a little juvenile and immature, and by some I mean a lot of them, but it was still like a good time most of the time. The Familiar. I expected so much more. I got this at the library the day it released. My library had it, and I went to go pick it up immediately. I was so excited for this book because Leigh Bardugo is one of my favorite authors. This was definitely my least favorite book from her. I didn't really care about the romance, which is unheard of in a Leigh Bardugo book. I always eat up the romance. The characters, I feel like, were also not as lovable as they usually are from her. I also feel like the ending was kind of confusing. I don't even really understand what happened. I had to Google it to like understand and have it be explained to me in a spoon-fed kind of way. I don't know. It just didn't hit that mark. I do like how different all her books feel from each other, though. I think it's very impressive that the same person is writing books in like fantasy dark academia, and then she's writing YA, and then she's writing adult historical fantasy. I think it's very, very impressive what she's trying to do. This one was not my favorite form. I'll still read everything she puts out though, because I'm obsessed with her. Fate Inked in Blood. I am throwing tomatoes. Yeah. My buddy read this and we both disliked it. I was so fed up with the martyr act. Oh my gosh. The way she would sacrifice herself for everyone and everything, even people who leave her to die, she would sacrifice herself for them. Girl, what are you doing? Have some self-respect. I was getting so annoyed. And just, there was riddles in this book, and I feel like the riddles low-key made no sense. I was getting so annoyed with the riddles and the characters. This book just annoyed me. I'm weirdly am planning on reading the second one because I don't know why I do this to myself. I feel like I'm not gonna like that one either, but I just want to see where it goes. This happens every time. I'll just like the first book and then read on. Hopefully it's a case of Emily Wilde where I didn't like the first one, loved the second one, but I doubt it. A Feast for Crows. Oh gosh, I forget which order these books go in. I just remember Dance with Dragons is the last one. Okay, maybe if I see them put next to each other. No, I don't remember which one I read first. There's a Storm of Swords. Okay, which one's second to last? Because that one did not eat. Okay, did I only read 3 this year? From this series? I forget. Well, I don't know which one's which. Hold on, let me look it up. A Feast for Crows. Goodreads. Okay, that's number 4. Okay, go back. So the 4th one, I didn't like it. Because it was... I feel like throwing tomatoes is a little harsh. But I also feel like it wasn't just meh fine. I was annoyed because my favorite characters didn't have point of views and they were hardly mentioned. Where's Daenerys? You know. Wasn't a fan. And then A Storm of Swords. This one was better. Wait, did I like this one? These books just all blur together because they're... I don't know why. Because they're all different colors. I feel like I should be able to differentiate that between them. But I forget exactly what happens in each book. It's just because they're so long. I feel like they're blurring together in my mind. I feel like this one was one of the ones I liked, though. Or was it the second one that I really liked? I don't remember. We're just going to leave it here. Maybe it was the third one that I really liked. I feed her to the Beast, and the Beast is me. I'm throwing tomatoes. The plot sounded so cool, and I love the idea of reading about the cutthroat world of ballet. I used to eat up dance moms, so I was so excited to be back in the dancing sphere and reading about cutthroat not contestants, dancers, and all that. I thought it would be so much fun, and it was just so weird. Everything that was happening, I was like, what is happening? It was weird. And not in a good way. I don't know, I feel like nothing made sense. The romance was really not good. And I didn't really love the main character. I didn't really love any of the characters. I also didn't like how much of a doormat she was, quite frankly, with her best friend. Her best friend's awful to her, and she just kind of takes it, and I was just getting annoyed with everything. Feral is the Beast. It was fine. Oops. Again, never know what to say about the books in this series, because it was just like, okay, didn't hate it, didn't love it. Okay, I guess, okay, I'm trying to think of what to say. It always takes me a second for this year, because it's just, like, there in my head. The first half I really liked the way it was built up, and I feel like the main character was such a baddie, and I was obsessed with her. And then the second half just got so boring so fast, and it was like cringy, and, the characters just changed so much after they fell in love. It was sappy, and Ugh. Yuck. Just not what I expected from those characters. I feel like it was built up and then went downhill. Final Girls Throws Tomatoes. It was predictable, slow, boring, not Riley Sager's best work. Finale. This was the final book in the Hush Hush saga, and it was disappointment. Didn't like how it ended. Loved the first book, so I really wanted the series to go with a bang, and it didn't. First Eye Wins. I loved it. Fine. I feel like we've been so negative. Oh my gosh. But this one I did actually love. I love the con artist stories and shows and movies. I don't know why I feel like it's so interesting to watch them work and trick everyone. I feel like it's so fun to be in their heads and to watch them do it. And I also like that there's a little bit of romance in the thriller. I feel like that was so fun. I really loved this. It was one of my favorite thrillers of the year. I can't believe we haven't put anything here yet. There are going to be books here. They're somewhere. Where are they? From Blood and Ash. I love this. The first book in this series, so good. So good. The plot twist goes crazy. I'm obsessed. I loved both the characters in this. I love them so much. I love the world. The world building was so well done. Oh, this was so good. And it had the potential to be such an amazing series. And the second book let me down. But hopefully we go back up. Haven't read the third book yet because the second book was such a letdown. I took a break from it, but I do want to continue eventually. 2025 will be that year. Hopefully it goes back up to here because this has so much potential. 5 Survive. I also really liked this one. In fact, dare I say I loved it. It was really good. I loved locked in thrillers. That's my favorite subgenre of thrillers. I love when they can't escape. I feel like it really adds to the suspense factor, and I loved it. It was so good. And the tension was so high. It was so good. It was so good. Frankenstein. This one was good. It was a little repetitive, and I feel like meandering at times, but it was still really good. And I feel like it's so interesting how books written, I don't know, one was first written like 1800s, can still be impactful today, and the life lessons, or like the lessons you get from this book, the message it's trying to convey is still relevant in today's world. I feel like it's so awesome, and it was just a really good story. I think it's just a little tedious at times. Okay, finally, we have a book I can put in You Are the Best Thing That Ever Happened to Me. Connor and Rose are the number one couple ever. I love them with everything in me. The banter, the rivalry, it's just so good. Academic rivals, lovers, one of my favorite tropes, and it's because of them. Because of couples like this. So good, and just the comfort and unconditional support, unconditional love they have for each other, and just the security. There's never any sense of doubt in this relationship. They never don't trust each other, and I just love how secure they are in themselves and in their relationships, and the confidence. And I also just relate to Rose so much, and I love Connor. He's the best book boyfriend. He's so perfect in every way. I love them. Words can't even express how much I love them. I just love them, and I want to imprint them on my mind. The amount of times I cried in this book, nuts, because so many moments just meant the world to me. Like the quotes. Oh my gosh, I could die. Actually. It's just perfect. It's everything to me. Connor and Rose are everything to me. Funny story. I don't know if I should put this in You Were Good, I'm Waiting for You to Be Great, or I expected more from you. Because, okay, this is another one. I went to the library like a couple days after it released. I put a hold on it when got it because I was so excited for Emily Henry's new release. She's my favorite author. She's my number one. And I didn't connect to these characters much. Same thing as Beach Read. I feel like Beach Read and this should be on the same tier though, because I kind of feel the same way. So if that's disappointed, I guess Beach Read has to be here too. I liked both them. They were both 4 stars. They were both good, but just Emily Henry. My standards for Emily Henry are just so high because she wrote People We Meet on Vacation and Book Lovers and Happy Place. Those books are just untouchable to me, and I feel like these two were just not on the same level. And it's a personal thing. I've heard a lot of people say they love these ones and they connected to the characters so much. I personally didn't, but it was still good. I loved Miles. He was such a sweetheart. I love him so much. But just didn't hit the spot. And I feel like I didn't feel the chemistry as much as I usually do with her books. But they were both still good, both 4 stars. Like, I feel like these books were definitely more disappointing than these two. I don't feel good about leaving them and expected more from you. Okay, you know what? We're gonna put them here. I don't care. Emily Henry should not be at one of the bottom tiers ever. The Fury. Fine. I liked the ending, weirdly. A lot of people I heard didn't like it. I thought it was very unique, and I liked it. I just wasn't expecting it, and I like to be surprised when I'm reading a thriller. This book did that. I just hated the fact that it took so long to get to the actual murder. This is a murder mystery, and we didn't get into the murder until so far into the book. So it was just, the beginning was just very annoying to me, because, like, get to the point. It happened one summer. I loved it. It's a rom-com. It's funny. It was so much fun. I don't know what else to say. It was just great, and I love Piper so much. She's just the cutest ever. I love her. Good Grades and Mystery Games. This is another one that I loved. This is independently published, so there are a bunch of typos and spelling errors and stuff. I don't care. I don't care, because I love this couple. I love the guy, Evan. The things he did for her. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, he's the best man. He is such a good book boyfriend, deserves more hype. I actually read this because someone on TikTok said that Evan and Scarlett reminded her of Connor and Rose. They're not quite on this level, but I love them. So, there they go. I hope this doesn't find you. Okay, here's another one that's the best thing that ever happened to me. I relate to Sadie Wen more than I relate to any character ever. She's the most relatable character. She's me on paper. People pleaser, perfectionist, me. She's literally me, and so many of the quotes in there, I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I feel like they just put my chest on paper. And I love the romance and the banter. Again, this is also academic rivals. Can you tell I like that trope? Both of my top tier books are academic rivals lovers, and they both do it so well. And after this book, Anne Liang has become an auto buy author for me. She has 2 new releases coming out in 2025, and you best believe I will be in line to get them immediately. Her writing, so beautiful. Oh my gosh, this book was just so good. And the racing scene. The scene where he oh my gosh, the racing scene lives forever in my head. I think about the scene all the time. If you know, you know. Hidden Pictures. Yep, this is quite... we go from top to bottom. I did not like this. The pictures were fun. That's about the only thing that was fun. The actual book, the story, the characters. Like, the characters just made no sense. They made the dumbest decisions ever. And I feel like it was just to further their plot. It didn't even make sense with their characters, so I was very annoyed. Hide and Seek. This is another series where all the books kind of blur together. But I feel like they all kind of belong in the rest of me. I'm only continuing this series because I want to find out who the killer is. I don't like the series. Don't really care for the characters all that much. Like, they're fine. They're not bad characters, I guess, but not memorable. It's just not great. Not relatable. It's just so dragged on. There's no reason for one mystery to be dragged on to 6 books. It's ridiculous. And the series ended. I'm on the 6th book now. I'm gonna read it in 2025, probably in January, just so I can be done with the series. I'm so ready to be done with it. Highly Suspicious and Fairly Cute. I loved it. It's so cute. Every Talia Hibbert book is an I love you. Actually, I have a 6 star from her. Actor A.J. Brown was a 6 star when I read it like 2 years ago. Okay, anyway, I'm getting distracted. This was so cute. The banter, the characters, everything about her books are just so cute, especially her YA books. Oh, it's adorable. It is just the most adorable book ever. I loved it. It's so cute. I don't know what else to say. It's just, when I think about cute book, this is like the number one cute book. Okay? It really is highly suspicious and not really cute. The title is very true. Holding, this was good. I liked the mental health representation. I think it was marriage in crisis, or were they dating? No, I think they were married and then they got divorced. Or were they dating and broke up? No, I think they were married. Okay, and then Second Chance, but I just love Second Chance. I love Marriage in Crisis. I love all that. It was good. I just wish it was maybe a little longer. I feel like this one is too short, which I don't say too often, but Honey Girl, this one was just fine. It wasn't, I feel like the ideas were good. I liked how it delved into academic burnout, because I felt that. At the time I read this, I was still in college, and I felt that. But I feel like a lot of it was kind of boring, and some of the characters were just so unrealistic and like quirky to the point where they're unrealistic, if that makes sense. And I couldn't relate to anyone else. Like, she was the only character I could relate to, and only for that one reason. Everything else is just, yeah, it's just fine. Not terrible, but not great. The Housemaid, I loved it. I thought it was so entertaining. It was predictable, but weirdly I didn't care because I was entertained. How to End a Love Story, this was good. It was just the beginning I did not like. The second half, loved it, loved the romance, loved the smut, everything was great. The first half, the main character annoyed me so much. I hated how she talked to that main guy. She was horrible to him. Horrible. But then it got so good. So it was good. Could have been great if the beginning was good. Hunt the Stars, Throwing Tomatoes. I wanted an intergalactic sci-fi romance, and that's what this book promised, and it did not deliver. It did not deliver. Why was half of this book cooking in the spaceship? I don't care. I don't care what you're making for dinner. I'm not even exaggerating. There were so many cooking scenes. What is this? Just write a cookbook if you want to write a cookbook. Don't disguise it as an intergalactic space adventure book. Where was the adventure? We were going through space, and it wasn't even described space. Like, look out the window and tell us what's there. I wanted it to feel more atmospheric. I wanted to feel like I was in space. I felt like I was in a kitchen. Okay? I did not like this. I hope this finds you well. This was fine. It was just okay. I feel like it wasn't great. I don't know what else to say about this one. That's just a pattern with this year. But this one, I really don't know what to say. It was just okay. Nothing stands out, really. It was kind of boring, but not terrible. Okay, I'm over it. I'm done with that book. I don't know what to say about that one. I can't think of anything to say. If you had been with me, this was a 1-star. I think it was my least favorite book of the year. Let's see. Yeah, my least favorite book of the year, at least from what's here already. This was so boring. It was a whole bunch of nothing, absolutely no plot. I've never read a book with less plot than this. I also feel like the miscommunication was so ridiculous and stupid. I don't care. I don't care that they're like teenagers. Teenagers can talk, okay? I will not accept that excuse. And the fact that she was emotionally cheating on her boyfriend the entire book? And don't even get me started on Finn. Okay, I did not cry at the end. I was just happy this book was over. Everyone said this book devastates them. I was just so fed up the entire time that the ending didn't even hit. If I Have to Be Haunted, this was fine. This is another case where the main girl was just very mean. It's similar to How to End a Love Story. The girl was just way too mean to him for no reason. Just unnecessarily cruel. But I love the concept. I have to cough. I'm sorry. She can see ghosts. And I love that. I read this in October. It was very atmospheric and fun for the season. But I didn't love her as a main character. If only I had told her. I don't know why I read this. This is also a 1 star. Hated this one so much and then proceeded to read the next book. Why? Why do I do this to myself? This one was also just... I don't even want to talk about it. I'm so over it. I already talked about enough of this one. And what? Enough about this one. This one follows 3 point of views. The other 2 point of views were more interesting, I guess. Autumn's, I just don't care. I don't care. Okay, moving on. This series just makes me annoyed. If We Were Villains, I Love You. One of the best books I read this year. I honestly thought about giving it 6 stars, but I don't think it's a 6 star. I don't think it's quite there, but it's a very high 5. I thought I just saw a bug and I freaked out. Okay, I didn't. Did I? Was it there? Or am I seeing things? I swear I just saw a bug, but also, like, it couldn't just disappear. Okay, now my heart is beating out of my chest. I'm so scared of bugs. If We Were Villains, the writing is so beautiful. I loved the found family, the relationships, the quotes. I don't even read Shakespeare like that, okay? But why did this book make me want to read all of Shakespeare's plays? The connection between Shakespeare and this book, it was just so good. I feel like Maria, genius. It was so beautiful. I've been talking for so long, so now my throat is dying, and I still have so much to go over. Why did I do this to myself? Why did I read 190 books in the same year? When I knew I was going to make this video. Why did I do that? Immortal Dark. This one was indeed a 6 star. It's going in, you are the best thing that ever happened to me. It's vampires, enemies, lovers, dark academia. What did I miss? Enemies, lovers. All my favorite things. All my favorite things. I heard so many negative reviews about this. I don't get it. I love this. I love the characters. They remind me of Jude and Garden. Kadan is like even more she goes there than Jude. Like, she will do anything. She's very cunning. That was, oh my gosh, there was a bug. I'm seeing it again. Oh my gosh, I'm freaking out. I'm freaking the flip out. I need water. I need water. And flies water. But she is such a baddie. She's so cunning and so smart. And Susenyo's so fine. I love this book with everything in it. It was so good, and I can't wait for the next book to come out. I also got the special edition. I'm so happy I paid extra for that because this book deserves it. It's so good. And the plot is also nuts. And the school, and all the characters I love, they're all flawed, but still lovable. And I love that it wasn't just black and white, like every character does a horrible thing, but it's still good. Kind of, some of them. It was just so good. So good. And the tension between the 2 characters, I could die. Okay, I'm freaking out. I can hear the bug buzzing. Intermezzo. Let's think. Okay, I feel like it was good. I'm waiting for you to be great. I feel like it was too long for what it was. A little bit tedious. I feel like some things just could have been erased. Wouldn't change anything in the story. Some details that were thrown in just didn't need to be there, but it was also so deep and so good, and I love the brother, just like family drama. I'm into those kind of books, so I liked it. I don't think I'm ever gonna stop coughing now. Into the 17 Towers. This was actually, I was gonna say it's a debut, but I actually don't know if this is his first book. This was good. It was just a little bit of show, not tell. That's the only thing making it down for me, because I like the plot. This guy can walk into a book. He can, like, his favorite books, he can be in them. That is a dream come true. I love it. I love the concept. It was really good. And it was also, there was a plot twist at the end that I thought was super interesting, and I'd never seen anything like it. It was good. I have a personalized edition of this. The author sent me a copy of it, and it says my name on it and everything. He wrote, like, a little letter to me, and it was just the sweetest thing ever, and I'm so grateful. It was really good. Iron Flame. I don't know if I should put this in fine or I expected more from you. I guess I wasn't expecting that much, because even the first one I wasn't, like, obsessed with. It was fine. I just got annoyed. The characters back and forth, so much arguing, and ugh, I feel like the whole book they were just arguing, and I'm not a fan of that. And then there was also like catfight. Oh my gosh, catfighting is kind of misogynistic. I should not have said that. Like girls getting jealous of other girls over this guy and fighting. I just don't like that. Girls hating on girls. Let's support women, yay! Just for this summer, this one, I liked it. It was really good. I'd even say I loved it. Okay, the first half though was a little bit boring. Like the first 100 pages. It's just like the getting to know you stage. I felt like was really boring, and I didn't care, and I wanted to skip it. Kind of. I did read it, but didn't really want to. And then it got so good all of a sudden. I don't know what happened. Then all of a sudden, I loved it. It was so good. I love the characters. I love the relationship. The dating. The dating stage was so cute. It was just adorable, and it was very deep, and just so good. After the first half, King of Sloth. I expected so much more from you. I really like the Twisted series. I love Twisted 8. Twisted 8 is one of my 6-star reads. This was so boring. Call it King of Sloth because it's so slow. I've made that joke like 50 times. I don't know why I keep making the same exact joke. Think of something new, babe. Think of something new. But it really is so slow. Like, nothing happens. Also, the plot is probably the most boring plot I've ever read. It's about him, like, growing his business. Or learning how to maintain a business and learning how to work. I don't care. It was just... I just don't like the plot. And also, I was promised Ice Queen. This girl was not an Ice Queen. Be so for real. Ugh. The Last Word. I expect more from you, because No Exit from him is my favorite thriller ever. In fact, let's talk about No Exit. It's right here. This is going in... Oops. Where is it going? Where did I just put it? Okay. Ugh, I wish this would go up instead of making me drop it and then go up. Best thing that ever happened to me. This is one of the best books I've ever read. I'm not even into thrillers like that. Thrillers are not my usual genre. I'm a fantasy, romance, girly. But this was so good. So good. And I was not expecting it at all. Just pick it up because it was at a little free library. And I was like, it's free. I'll read it and then return it. I did not return it because it was amazing and I want it on my shelf forever. This book, the plot twist, the characters, this was like my favorite villain of the entire year, probably. It was such an interesting villain and just, oh my gosh, so good. It was so entertaining. Kept me on the edge of my seat the entire time. There was never a dull moment in this. There's also a cliffhanger and chapter endings, which I love in thrillers. Make me want to keep reading more. It just, and it was a locked-in thriller, which, like I said, my favorite type of thriller. Everything about this was so good. It's also very, very atmospheric. Highly recommend this in the wintertime if you haven't read it already. Pick it up. It is so crazy and so good. I loved it. And so I picked up The Last Word because I decided after reading No Exit I was going to read every Taylor Adam books ever. Every Taylor Adams book ever. Because I love them so much. And I was like, oh my gosh, he's my favorite thriller author ever after one book. I was a little too hasty with that. This one I did not like as much. It was kind of cringy and immature and just kind of ridiculous. Wasn't a fan. Just didn't live up to No Exit for me. Also, the plot twist wasn't as good. The villain wasn't as good. Nothing was as good as No Exit. Well, nothing is gonna be as good as No Exit, honestly. I don't see how a thriller could ever top that. The feeling got from that. Just the whole time I was so riveted. And when I wasn't reading it, I wanted to be reading it. Like, I wanted to read that book in one day, but I couldn't because I had other obligations, and I literally could not think about anything else. That book was on my mind. So good. Legends Lattes. It was kind of boring, but also kind of cute, so it's just kind of fine. Lessons in Chemistry. I guess I'm putting it here. It was just not what I expected. And I also feel like the plot was kind of all over the place. Why did we go from so many places? It was just like, I feel like it was trying to be too much. And it was all kind of random. Like, why did she randomly pick up rowing it was just kind of weird, but also I like the feminist aspects. I like the main character a lot, but it was just so random. The plot was just weird to me. Leather and Lark. Good, but not great. Sometimes the characters were a little annoying, but I was entertained for the most part. Oh my gosh, that bug. Oh my gosh, it started flying. It went back to its spot. Oh, that freaked me out. That freaked me out. If I have to pause this video, it's probably because I'm running from the bug. In Love with Louis Prescott. Yeah, I'm throwing tomatoes. It was insta love. It wasn't like the worst thing I've ever read. It was, but I couldn't connect with the characters. They weren't very relatable, and it was insta love, so not a fave. The Liar's Crown was very, very good. It was also insta love, so it was good. I'm waiting for you to be great. This was so close to a 5-star. Like the banter and the side characters. I love the side characters so much. They were everything. And the side relationships also, oh, so cute, so cute. Also, the plot I liked. Everything about this was really good, except the insta love brought it down. The Lost Story. Good, not great. I feel like the pacing was a little slow, but I really like the romance. I like the characters, the fantasy. It's like it feels like I'm reading a fairy tale. It was cute. Long Way Down. I expected more. The other books in this series are just so much better. Daisy and Ripe are my least favorite couple, but even with them being my least favorite couple, I was still expecting more than what this book gave me. I feel like it was so cringy. Their parts, at least. Loved Connor and Rose. Love Lily and Lo. So I'm still glad this book exists, just so I could get those book vibes with them that I wouldn't get otherwise, but don't care for them as a couple. The Love Hut. Oh my gosh, I cannot stop staring at that book. It is freaking me out. It keeps flying and going back and then flying and going back. Ugh. I feel like it's gonna fly at me one of these times. The Love Hypothesis was really cute. It was cute. I enjoyed it. It was not a favorite. I feel like it was just, I don't want to say generic because it's like a STEM romance and the writing is different than most others. And I also don't really like many STEM romances. So it's not generic. It just has a generic feel. Weirdly. I don't know why. I think it's just because the relationship dynamic is just nothing special, nothing new. I just feel like I've read this type of book so many times, just in different settings. If that makes sense. So it was just good, but it wasn't anything new. The Maid. Fine. It was cute. I love the main character. She's so cute. But the mystery element, the plot, not my favorite. It's very, very slow. And I did not like the reveal as to who the killer was. I just felt like it was a cop-out and lame, quite frankly. Love story throws tomatoes. The guy was so annoying. The relationship was so annoying. So back and forth. Ugh. Masters of Death, I love it. It is so cute. I know a lot of people don't like Olivia Blake because she does. It's tedious, and even I can admit it's tedious, but it's my favorite kind of tedious. Her writing is just so beautiful. I don't care that it's tedious. I will eat up every tedious crumb. I don't care. I think it's beautiful. I love the relationships. I love the characters, the banter, the writing, everything about it. It's just so cute. I love it. It's also not what I expected at all. I expected this to be creepy, and it's sort of a rom-com. But I'm not upset about it. I loved it. Why do I have nothing here yet? I definitely cried this year. Meet Your Matcha throws tomatoes. I read this because it's a reality TV romance, and my favorite book ever, because this guy is reality TV romance. Can you guys tell? I just think about Connor and Rose constantly, because I do. So many of the books I pick up are just because I want to feel like I felt reading that book, and this one did not deliver at all. It was, the characters just weren't that great. The romance wasn't that great. Nothing was great. Nothing. The end. Mexican Gothic. I think I expected more from, because it is so hyped up, and a lot of people are like, this is my favorite horror book ever. Why? I don't know. It definitely wasn't my favorite horror book ever. It was fine though. It wasn't like the worst thing ever. I did like the Gothic vibes and the mansion setting and everything. And I like the writing. I felt like some things were so well written. And I did like the main character. But it just didn't feel that horrific. Again, I don't know. I just feel like I expect more from horror. Like, it doesn't feel like horror. And it was also very boring. I feel like the pacing was not my favorite. Too slow for me. Had to pause the video to get rid of the bug. Okay, it is no more. And I went to go put it in the toilet because that's how I dispose of bugs. I get so scared if I put them in the trash can, they're gonna fly out, even if they're deceased. I don't know why. I just have this fear that they're gonna come back to life and fly at me. Whew. So I put it in the toilet, and I opened the toilet lid, and there's a bug in the toilet. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Anyway, flushed them both. Now I feel a little bit safer, but also my heart is still beating on my chest. That was terrifying. Back to the video. Middle of the night. I expected so much more from you. Or I'm throwing tomatoes. We'll throw tomatoes. Riley Sager wrote one of my favorite thrillers, Lock Every Door. After No Exit, it is Lock Every Door. I love Lock Every Door. The plot was pacing, everything amazing. This was not good. Pacing, so slow. Plot twist. Can you even call it a twist? I called that as soon as the character was introduced. I was like, oh, it's them. And I was right. And it was also just so anticlimactic, the ending. And the reveal and everything. This was not a favorite. One of his worst books for sure. Why do I feel like you hear about me now? I feel like it's just in my head. Maybe I should not sleep in my room tonight. Because I'm now paranoid. I'm like looking around, seeing if I can see anything. I don't see anything. But I feel like, I'm just worried. Okay. What was I saying? Yeah, not a fave. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. Sob. Actually, okay. I need to put something in the sob category. I sobbed. The chapter with Remy. Crying for so long. It could also be an I love you. Because I love this book. The villain. So good. So fine. And the character. I love her. I love Addie. I love the story. It was so emotional. The writing is beautiful. Everything about this book I'm obsessed with. I love it. And it really hit that emotional factor. The chapter with Remy was devastating. Devastating. I'll never forget him. Even though he was in like 2 chapters, very minor character, I could cry. I could cry. I can't even say anything without spoiling. Never mind. But I'm devastated. Clause in effect. I love you. You know what? I'm gonna put it there. It was so much fun. It's just a lighthearted rom-com. Nothing super deep, but it was just so much fun. I had the best time reading this. And I'm not gonna put it any lower. I hate when people say like rom-coms aren't as meaningful and stuff, like, because rom-coms give you so much joy. Okay, that's what this book gave me, and even though it's not on the same emotional level as If We Were Villains, it still deserves to be here because it was just so much fun. And City of Gods tomorrow and throws tomatoes. I think I'm gonna not continue with the series, which is crazy for me because I continue like every series. I just don't care. The books are so long. I don't care about the couple, don't care about the characters, don't care about anything. I feel like it's very immature and juvenile. The dialogue is just, it just feels like a child talking, to be honest. When, what's her name, Lauren, opens her mouth. Yeah, also, this is gonna sound mean, way too much crying in this book. I cry so much in real life, but reading about characters that are constantly crying, unless it's like the character is depression and it's there for a reason, annoys me so bad. Like, in real life, I would never judge someone for crying too much, okay? I am one of those people. In books, it's just annoying, okay? I want plot. I want action. I don't want this. King of Scars. I expect more from you. Yeah, I feel like that's fair, because Nikolai is one of my favorite side characters ever. In fact, he might be my number one favorite side character. So when I found out we were getting his book, I was so excited. One of my most anticipated reads of ever. And it just did not hit. I feel like he wasn't as funny in his own book as he is usually. And I know she was trying to make him seem deeper, but I feel like he could still be funny and deep. And he did have his moments, but I just wish there were more. And the romance was also not my favorite. I was so excited. I got spoiled what the romance would be, and I was so excited for it. I didn't even care that I got spoiled because I was so excited. I was like, oh my gosh, that's so perfect. Like, Ice Queen and, like, Breath of Fresh Air guy, Cinnamon Roll guy. And it didn't even feel like a romance. It felt like friends. Even when they had romantic moments that should have been romantic, it just felt like friends. It just felt very formal, and I wasn't a fan. Also, this cover is so stunning. So I expected more, but it still wasn't bad. I gave 4 stars. I still liked it. It was still really good. Just, I really expected it to be a 5-star. And Bumps in the Road was cute. Where should I put this one? Okay, I'll leave it here. Yeah, that's fine. It was cute, but nothing super memorable or to write home about. How much more? Oh my gosh, we still have so much more. Can we go out of order? I'm kind of bored of going in order. Let's do... Let's do this one, because this is 6 stars. It's the best book I read all year. All year. I related to Poppy and Alex so much. So much. I love them, and the banter, the dialogue, the characters. Everything about this book is my favorite. I don't know why I'm singing. But I love this, and I also love the vacation vibes. I read this in January, and it has remained my favorite book. I read my favorite book of the whole year in January. Haven't stopped thinking about this since. And the movie is coming out, and I'm so excited. And also the guy, the cast of Alex, I'm so excited to see him work. After I saw him in Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, I'm so excited. I think I annotated almost every single page. There's like 4 pages that I didn't annotate. There was so much underlined, so much I related to. This book, I just felt so deeply connected to, and and I don't even really like Friends to Lovers that much, or at least I didn't think I did. This is a Friends to Lovers book. Why was I obsessed with it? Why is it one of the best things that ever happened to me? After Encounter Rose, Poppy and Alex are the best things that ever happened to me. I can't even explain. When I read this book, it didn't even feel like I was reading. Like, I wasn't looking at pages or anything. I was so deeply immersed in this story. I read it for like hours on end. Didn't stop. Couldn't stop. Could not stop thinking about it. Still can't stop thinking about them. It just hit. It just hit. The second best book I've ever read in my whole entire life. Will never forget about them, and I need to do a reread ASAP, actually. It would be so great for me. Okay, let's just go in order. What am I doing? There's like more pressure to like pick. Okay, let's go in order. Mile High was good. A little too cringy though. I'm waiting for you to be great. But it was still good and still enjoyable, still cute for the most part. Just a little bit too long, a little too much filler, a little too cringy, but still really fun. And then Finding Mr. Right, this was also really cute. It was just the beginning. I was like, not sure if I was gonna love it. I don't know why. At the beginning, it was just like not my favorite ever. It wasn't even bad. It was just not great. And then the more I read, the more I was like, this is so cute. I love it. So, Murder Road. I'm throwing tomatoes. I don't know why horror books, the popular horror books, just never hit for me. This, I feel like the plot twist was bad. I feel like the pacing in the beginning, the first like 15% was really good, and then after that, it just slowed down so much, and I was so bored. I cannot deal with slow-paced thrillers or slow-paced horrors. I just get so irritated. Like, get to the point. I want to be on the edge of my seat, and they were not keeping me on the edge of my seat. The Mystery Guest. This one, it can go in the same tier as The Maid. I feel like they're on the exact same level. They're fine. There's some cute moments. Love the main character. As I said before, the mystery, though, I just don't really care for the plot of these books. Like, the mystery is so slow. The plot twists are never that great, but it's just kind of cute sometimes. Nevermore books aren't throwing tomatoes. This guy was the creepiest love interest ever. He was watching her with binoculars. He was watching her get out of the shower with binoculars. Sir, that is not love interest behavior. That is creepy side character villain behavior. Put those things down. I was sick to my stomach reading this. Oh, the guy was just such a creep. The cover's cute though, but it was just no. Also super insta-lovey. Night of Cake and Puppets. Throwing tomatoes. So cringy. So cringy and so pointless. Nothing good. Nothing happened. I swear nothing happened. Like, things happened. Nothing important, though. And it was just so weird. Like, the characters, her, the FMC especially, what was she on about half the time? I don't even know what she was saying. She was so random and forced quirky. There has never been a quirkier person than her. It was ridiculous. I don't even know what I was reading. Night Mother. This is a play I had to read for class, and I loved it. It was the best play script I've ever read. It was so beautiful and so heartbreaking. Okay, actually, we'll never not cry for this. Okay, I keep forgetting this tier exists. I guess I can tell you the plot, since it's not really spoilers the whole plot. It just feels like it would be spoiler. The main character is planning to unalive herself. At the end of the night, she tells her mother, and then it's her and her mother spending her last hours together, and her mom trying to convince her not to do it. It's heartbreaking. As you would expect. It's devastating. But just, will live with you forever. Then I read The Nightmare Before Christmas, the book version of it. And, I mean, it was fine. It was fun. But nothing crazy. I don't know what to say about this one either. It was cute sometimes, but also, you don't need to read it. Just watch the movie if you want. It's gonna be faster. Not in Love. Where should I put this? Fine. Sometimes it was weird. Like, some of the things the guy would think. Weird. But there were some cute moments. But there were also not cute moments. It got to a point where it was too lusty for me, I guess. Some of the smell was good, but too much. For me, personally, I know some people eat it up, though. Nothing like, also, there were some aspects of the main character that I could really relate to, and I did appreciate that. So, nothing like the movies. Just not going in that tier. It was good, Waiting for You to Be Great. I feel like there was so much filler in this book, and I wanted more Wes and Liz, and less everything else. But they're the reason I read that book, so I wanted more of them. Only If You're Lucky, I thought was so good. I really like this one. Should I put in I Love You? Yeah, okay, sure. Wait, should I? Okay, we'll put it here. We'll put it here. Okay, but then I feel like the housemaid also has to go here. I feel like I was too hasty with this one. The housemaid, it was a little predictable, so we can put it, you were good. Only If You're Lucky was also so good, and it really kept my attention. I don't know why, because it is slower than most of the thrillers I love, but for whatever reason, even though it was a little slower, it was keeping my attention. I thought it was also, I really like the college setting also. I feel like I haven't read a lot of thrillers set in a college setting. I feel it's either high school YA or adult out of school, so I just like being in a college thriller. I thought that was really exciting for me, and it was just, it kept my attention. I don't know what to say. I don't know why. I don't know how to explain it, but it just did. It was good. Only Mine. Okay, this one, it's good, but I also never think about it. Like, now that it's brought up and I can see the cover, I'm thinking about that scene where he comforts her in the shower, and I want to cry. That was so sweet. But other than that, if I don't see the book, I don't think about it. It was good in the moment, but just not memorable, I guess. The only one left I loved. I loved it. This one actually does go in I Love You. This is a 5-star. I loved this one. The plot twist was so good. I like the setting. I thought it was so awesome being on the edge of a cliff. It was good. I think it's my second favorite book by him. Not as good as Lottie, but it's still amazing. Out on a Limb, I expected so much more from this because it is so hyped up. And Heather McClary says 6-star, and I'm sure it is for, and I'm so glad. Other people love this. Everyone loves this book. It has such a good rating. I was really bored. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was really bored. I feel like everything was so dragged out. I don't know why the conversations in this book felt so long. I feel like we would get to the point of the conversation, and then the conversation would just keep going forever and ever and ever, and it would like filler conversations. I don't know. It was just really boring to me, and I feel like a lot could have been cut out, and it wouldn't have changed a single thing. A lot of people say it's cute. I feel like it was at times, but sometimes I was just, I don't know where I'm going with this. It wasn't as cute as I expected it to be, based on the way people talk about it. I also feel like the guy was just too perfect all the time. I wanted him to be a little bit more flawed. It just kind of bored me with how perfect everything was. Now, not much was happening. Besides the obvious pregnancy. That's not a spoiler, that's the whole book. Wasn't a favorite. I've heard from so many people that even if you don't like accidental pregnancy, you should read this. You should absolutely not. The whole book is a pregnancy. Don't read it if you don't like accidental pregnancy. You're going to be disappointed. Outlander. I'm throwing tomatoes. I DNF'd this. I made the mistake of bringing this book with me on vacation and being stuck with it. I tried to force myself through, but I decided to DNF. And then I had nothing to read on vacation, and I was so pissed. Horrible. Horrible. I did not like this at all. Okay, horrible is mean. It's a personal preference. I didn't like it. You might like it. A lot of people do like it. It's very popular. I still want to read the show. Maybe I'll like the show. But the book just felt so repetitive. Why did this girl get assaulted like 9 times? What is happening? Why are we recycling the same plot like over 5 times in the same book? The amount of times she got manhandled and assaulted. What is happening? Why did this get published? Okay, that's mean. I need to stop being mean. But like, I was so confused as to why this is so beloved because it just felt so repetitive to me, and some of the things the guy does disgusted me. I couldn't get on board with him, and the romance nice. And I also was so confused as to why she wasn't trying to get back in time. Because this is a time travel, she ends up way before her time. I feel like she a little bit tried to go back. Not hard enough. And I would just feel like if this was real, someone would try a lot harder to get back to their time period, especially when they're now in this sexist, horrible time period where everyone's a barbarian. Okay, sorry, it's just not a favorite of mine. Definitely not going to continue the series. The Creep Paradise problem, also, I'm throwing tomatoes. I was so annoyed. Why was this girl so ditzy and, like, idiotic? I like how I said I wasn't going to be mean, then I try to be mean. Well, I'm not trying, it just came out. I'm sorry. But I just feel like, okay, the plot of this book, they got married. It was marriage convenience, and then she thought they got divorced. She signed a contract without even reading the contract. Babe, if you're getting divorced, you should read the contract. Like, I just felt like she was portrayed as this total moron. And she doesn't even know if she's married or not because she didn't read the contract. Are you serious? Like, what? Like, I understand not reading terms and conditions when you're accepting something, when you're downloading a new app or something. Simple like that. But, like, a marriage contract and a divorce contract. Girl, you should read that. You should absolutely read that. And I just feel like every scene, she was just saying something so dumb. And it was like supposed to be funny and quirky, but I was just annoyed. I was like, why is this girl being portrayed as such an idiot? I don't want to read about an idiot girl. And the guy was just giving nothing. He had absolutely no personality. Just didn't like that book at all. Pen Pal. Oh my gosh. Three tomatoes in a row. I'm throwing another tomato. It was way too lusty. Not enough emotional connection. I feel like the smut scenes were just so repetitive. Also, the same exact thing in every smutty scene. Where's the creativity? Not here. I did. Okay, I gave this 2 stars on 1 just because there was a plot twist that I really liked. That was actually really good. The Perks of Being a Wallflower. We're gonna go with this. Okay, I know. Come with me. You were good. I'm waiting for you to be great. I feel like it was a little too fast-paced, and we didn't have enough time to really explore every topic it brought up. It brought up so many important, difficult topics, and I feel like it didn't handle them all really well. But it was still good, and I was very entertained, and I love Charlie, and some of the emotional topics they handled were really good, like the abusive relationship aspect was very well done, but some of them were very rushed. Phantasma. I'm gonna put it in fine. Too much of a physical connection, not enough of an emotional connection. I feel like that's a pattern. I keep saying that in this video, but I just feel like a lot of these books that I was reading were too much spice, not enough emotional connection. I don't mind spice as long as there's an emotional connection. Okay, Fuel the Fire. There's plenty of spice, but there's also so much emotion in that book. This one, I feel like it was mostly lusty. It was also insta-love, which I hate. I did like the games and the gothic elements. I thought those were awesome, and I wish those were. That was all I liked, really. The romance, didn't care for. But the actual plot, I ate it up. The Phoenix Crown. I expected so much more from you. Because in the blurb, the first line references the San Francisco earthquake, and I like reading about natural disasters. I know it doesn't show because none of these, like most of these books, do any of these books have a national, oh my gosh, can't talk, natural disasters in them? I don't think so. But, like, the idea of reading about a natural disaster was really intriguing to me, and I mentioned the San Francisco earthquake, and I was like, hey, I want to read about that. I don't know too much about that. Let's read about it. So I picked this up. We don't get to the earthquake until so far into the book, and then we get to it, and it's over within like 2 chapters. It's very quick and very surface level coverage of it, and every single chapter was building up to this San Francisco earthquake. It was like 28 hours until the San Francisco earthquake, 4 days until the San Francisco earthquake. Like, that was at the beginning of each chapter. And then we got to it, and I was so excited. I was like, here it is. And then it was over so fast. And I just feel like it's marketed very badly. Like, that should not be what they're saying this book is about, because it's not about that. So I was very disappointed with this. Because it did not deliver what it's saying it's going to deliver. Play Along, I love you. I love Isaiah Rose. I love Kennedy. Where did the book go? Why did it just disappear? Oh my gosh, isn't Throws Tomato? You are not a tomato. I would never throw tomatoes at you. I would throw hearts at you. And I would blow kisses at you. I love you. It's reverse Grumpy Sunshine, and I love that trope so much. The guy is such a golden retriever. He's so cute. And the girl, she's so sweet. But just, it's like hidden. She's a little introverted. I love this book. The scene. Oh, so many cute scenes. I love it so much. Powerful. we're gonna put it in You Were Good, but I'm waiting for you to be great. It was a little too cringy, but it was still fun. I enjoyed most of it. Just some scenes where I was like, okay, that was a little, ugh, you know. A Powerless, on the other hand, is, where did it go? It just disappeared. Oh, here it is. It's a 6-star, best thing that ever happened to me. The writing, Lauren Roberts has some of the best writing I've ever read. Her writing is incredible, and Kaiser is my number one guy, my number one fictional guy ever. The things that come out of this man's mouth, the things he thinks about her, straight poetry. Like, it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. I love the banter. Oh my gosh, it's so good. And similarly, we're gonna skip around here. Reckless is also a 6-star. Controversial take. I don't care. A lot of people didn't like this one. They felt like there was no plot. But honestly, I was never reading Powerless for the plot. Like, there are some books I read for the plot. Some books I read for the romance. This is a book I'm definitely reading for the romance. The romance, oh, so good. One of the best romances ever, in my opinion. And this book was basically just romance. Very little plot. And I found that I don't care, because I was never that invested in the plot to begin with. It was always about the romance for me. And this book was plenty of romance. So, to me, it was still good. I know a lot of people were disappointed, and I get why. I was not 6 stars. I don't care. The writing was so beautiful. Oh my gosh, the scene in the sewers. This is gonna sound crazy. I'm talking about sewers, but that was the most romantic thing I've ever read. Oh, so good. So good. Pride and Prejudice. I'm gonna get so much hate. But I expect more. Just because it's like the most hyped up romance book of all time, I expected more. I feel like it was just a lot of filler, a lot of walking around, talking, chatting, gossiping, and I was just bored. I just want more plot, less of this chitter chatter, I guess. Some people like it. A lot of people like it. I'm very much in the minority, so happy for you guys. But this is a book that I like. Okay, the difference with Powerless, or Reckless, I mean, this one was all talking too, not much plot. But I was just more invested in the characters and the conversation. This one I wasn't. I was bored. The Queen's Army. This is a short story from the Lone Wolf Chronicles. This one was good. I'm gonna put it in. It's good. I don't really know what would make it great, but there's got to be a little more. Okay, it was 4-star. Was good. I liked reading about how Wolf got infiltrated into. Actually, I don't think I can even say that. That might be a spoiler. Never mind. But it was interesting to see how he got to where he was in Scarlet. I really liked reading about it. But I wanted more. Weirdly, I don't know how to explain what I want more of, but I did want more. Quicksilver and Throwing Tomatoes. So juvenile. And ridiculous. The characters were so ridiculous. The guy, he's like 1,000 years old or something. Why does he act like a 14-year-old preteen boy? Grow up. I could not take this book seriously at all. Really didn't like it, and I'm not going to continue it, which I'm so proud of myself for being able to say that, because I'm so bad at quitting series, even if I don't like it. So bad. But this book, like, genuinely, I don't know how I could go on. It was definitely not for me. Redeemed. I loved this book. I loved it. It was a little cringy, and I realized that. I could realize it as I was reading it and giggling. I was like, girl, what are you doing? This is so cringy. But I loved it. It was just good. It was just good. I love the banter. I love the couple. Oh, it was cute. It was so lighthearted. Well, not lighthearted. There was very, very tough topics in there. Lighthearted banter is what I meant to say, but there was tough topics. It was emotional. It was everything. Okay, it was good. I love you. And I think it was my favorite in the Dirty Air series. Definitely my favorite, actually. Wasn't expecting much because none of the other ones. I feel like the first one I gave 3 stars, then the second one I gave 1 star, and then the third one I gave 2 or 3. This one was a 5. So I don't know what happened, but I loved it. A Love Song for Ricky Wilde was very, 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 very good. Okay, I'm gonna put Should I put it in good? Or I love you? Okay, I'm gonna put it here because it was instant love, which isn't my favorite, but everything else about this was so good. The writing is beautiful, the characters, Ricky's story, just everything else was so good. It's just the instant love ring-a-ding for me. Instant love just ruins everything. Ugh. But that book was so good. The rom-comers. I have to think about where I'm gonna put this one. I think we're gonna put it in meh fine. I feel like it's very deceiving because you have this bright cover and it's called the rom-comers. You expect something funny and rom-commy, and then you get a book about terminal illness. Just not what it's advertised as. I feel like it's very misleading and I don't really like that. And I also, this guy gossips about her behind her back multiple times. And this was after they, like, became friends, too. He would just, like, talk crap about her sometimes. And she'd hear him, and she wouldn't even confront him half the time. I was just kind of annoyed. He wasn't my favorite hero. Ruthless Vows. Okay, I'm gonna put it in You Were Good. I'm waiting for you to be great, because the first book in this series, I loved it. It's like a 5-star, like a 5.5, so close to being a 6, but not quite there. I love Divine Rivals. One of my favorite books of last year. This one was not quite as good. I feel like the characters were separated for too long, and I just wasn't as into it, I guess. But it was still really good, and I am glad I read it. Just wasn't as good as number 1, but it would have been hard for the author to top number 1 because it was so amazing to me. So maybe this is a me problem. The House of Earth and Blood. I love this one. The other books in the series, not my favorite, but this one I just remember loving and eating up. Even though it was super long, it didn't feel that long. I read it really fast and I loved the characters. I loved the romance. It was really, really good, and I liked the plot also and the plot twist, and it was good. I don't know what to tell you. But then it went downhill. Poor Judgment, Throwing Tomatoes. I wanted a cutesy rom-com. I should have known it was going to be bad when I saw the cover. The little people on cover is so scary. And I'm noticing there's multiple people on covers in here. Why did I pick this up? Why did I pick this up? Why did I pick this up? Real people on covers are just ugh. And I'm noticing there's a lot of them in the bottom row. Is that a coincidence? I don't think so. Real people on covers, it's just a bad sign. Foreshadowing? Bad. But this one, it was just so juvenile. The characters are adults, but they act ridiculous like preteens. Horny preteens. It was, ugh, no. Why is Ruthless Vows back down here? Oh, did I accidentally put it twice? Can I delete it? Okay. I don't think so. We'll just put it at the end. Okay. And then, was this Cross My Heart, Hope to Die? You could just go with her. Oh, they kind of align, but kind of don't. Oh my gosh, it's bothering me that they don't perfectly align. I already talked about the book. It's just being very dragged out. Scarlet. Good. I love the romance. I think they are so cute together. I love the dynamic, and I love the plot of this book. I just think the pacing is super slow, and that is something I noticed in every single book in this series. The pacing is not great, just including novellas because they're shorter, but the full books, I feel like all of them are slow. They all have the potential to be so amazing, but then the pacing ruins it in every single one. That's my complaint about all of them. Serpent and Wings of the Night. We're gonna put this in. Why do I keep losing them? Where did it go? I'm not seeing it. Oh, here it is. Okay. I'm gonna put this one next to its friend. I love this series. It's great. I sound like a robot when I say that, but it's really, really good. I like the banter. I love the characters. the complicated family father-daughter relationship. It's just a good book. It's a good duology. I haven't read the third book yet, and I don't know why. I need to read that though in January. Set on You by Amy Leah. I'm throwing tomatoes. The main girl, so entitled, annoyed me so much, such a hypocrite. The guy was great, super nice, super patient, and I don't know why, because I just couldn't, as a reader, could not deal with her. I could not imagine someone in a romance dealing with her. She just really annoyed me. And there was way too many pop culture references in this book, which is just a personal preference. I don't love that. The Silent Patient. You can be fine. The plot twist didn't really get me because I read a book with a similar plot twist before and I kind of guessed it. And it was just very slow. I feel like all his books are pretty slow. And like I said, thrillers, I don't like when they're slow. The Sixth Death of the Saints. The best short story I've ever read in my whole entire life. I love you. It was heartbreaking. Should I put it here? Okay. But I love it. I feel like it should be an I love you because I love it so much. I feel like that should be emphasized that I love it so much. But it could also be here. We'll never not cry for this. Every time I think about this book, I want to cry. It was devastating. Soulmates. Star-crossed lovers. Everything. Oh, it was just so heartbreaking. And I cannot believe this is a short story. I cannot believe I read 31 pages and I feel like I read a whole series. It's incredible what this author did in 31 pages. The pacing is incredible. It never felt too rushed, which is so weird, considering all that happened. We've spanned centuries, decades. I don't know the difference between century and decades. I was getting confused, but like we spanned a long time. Okay, so much battle, so much war, so much death in this book, and then heartbreak. There was a whole love story. There was plot twist. There was everything. It feels like you read a whole book, but it was 31 pages. It's just mind-boggling to me. This was incredible though, in the character development. This book just had everything. Best short story I've ever read and probably will ever read. I don't know how anything could be better than this. It's incredible. I'm throwing a lot of tomatoes. I feel like a really big hater right now. There's so much down here. Okay, House of Sky and Breath. I mean, I feel like I should put it here. Fine. This one just felt too long to me. The first one is like a similar page count, but that one I feel like filled it up good. This one I feel like was all over the place and just didn't need to be that long. I feel like she was trying to make it as long as the first one, and it didn't need to be. She was throwing in random plots for no reason. And I didn't like where the conclusion to the mystery was very annoyed by. Somebody's Daughter. This one was fine, but nothing special. I didn't get too attached to any of the characters. The plot wasn't that crazy, but it wasn't bad either. It was just okay. The Song of Achilles. I'm gonna get hate. But it was just fine to me. I don't know why this book didn't hit. It hits for literally everyone. I don't know why it didn't hit for me. It was just, I just felt disconnected to it, and I don't know why. I really wanted to love this. I just didn't. I didn't feel connected to it at all. I felt like I was reading a book, and when I'm reading a book, I like to feel immersed. I don't like to actually feel like I'm reading. I like to feel like I'm there. The Song of Achilles did not give me that feeling. Still Beating. I expected so much more from you. This has been a hyped up book for a long time, and I feel like a lot of my friends rate this very, very highly. Like, all my Goodreads friends, I have like 300 friends. None of them have rated it below 3 stars. It's very, very popular amongst my friends, and just the plot seemed so interesting to me, and I expected so much, and it did not live up to those expectations. So much women hating on women, slut shaming, stuff like that. Don't like. And then I don't even know. Not like other girls. She was very much one of those. It was just not my favorite. I also wish it delved. Because, like, after they escape, I wish it did a better job of exploring how they heal. I feel like it was kind of glossed over, like, oh, he went to therapy, but, like, show us the therapy session, you know? I wanted to see them get better and how. And I feel like it was just kind of glossed over. Only 3 more rows left. Almost done. So I need a special disposition. I think I put it in I Love You. I thought it was really cute. It has a really low rating on Goodreads. Don't know why. I thought it was super, super cute. I love the girl, I love the guy. He's like super quiet, she's extrovert and just bubbly, and he's like grumpy hockey player. It was cute. It was really cute. Okay, now I feel like I should put it down, actually. I don't know what it could have done to be better, but I'm just comparing it to now, like, 6 does the same. I don't know. I feel like it doesn't compare to the other books near. Okay, actually. I'm looking at Belladonna. If Belladonna couldn't be up here, this can too. I feel like I really did enjoy it, and I don't know what I could do to be better. Okay, so it can say. I loved it. The 7-year slip. It was insta-love. The writing was so beautiful. It was so beautiful. But the insta-love. It ruins everything. It ruins everything. The writing was so good, and I loved Ewan. He was so sweet. I loved him. Oh, just the sweetest guy ever. Snow like ashes. This one, it was good. It was action, fast paced. It's also very, very winter themed, and I like that. I read it in December because I wanted a wintry feel, and this book delivered. So it was everything I wanted, but it did feel a little bit generic. It's very similar to other YA dystopian books I've read, and I wanted something a little different, a little more unique, but it has potential. I'm going to continue the series. Sweet Hand, super cute. You were good. I'm waiting for you to be great. The cover's also so adorable. One of the best covers ever. It's adorable. What can this one do to be great? Let's think. Oh, the beginning. I feel like I was a little bored by. Took a little bit for me to get into it, but once I was into it, I thought it was super cute. I had fun. Swift and Saddled. This one, again, is a you were good, waiting for you to be great. Again, the beginning, not into. It's the same as we had. At the beginning, I was not immediately attached, but then once I get into it, the more I read, the more attached I became, and I really fell in love with him. This one is also insta-love, but I don't know why it still worked for me. I think it's just her writing, so I love how short and to the point she is, and that she doesn't throw in a bunch of unnecessary filler. I feel like, like there's still some cute filler scenes that like aren't necessary to the plot, but in a romance book, like there's gonna be scenes that are not necessary to the plot just to be like cute. And that's fine. I just thought it was cute, and I liked it. Switched by me and Hawking, throwing tomatoes. I made the mistake of buying this whole series at a garage sale. It was $150 for 3 books. It was a steal. But it was a 1-star. I only read the first book. I'm gonna continue the series just because I paid for it and I don't like wasting my money. But I'm gonna be wasting my time because I don't like this. I like the idea. Okay, she's a troll. It's a fantasy about trolls, and I've never read a fantasy about trolls. Trolls are not usually romanticized. And I just kind of like that it's something a little different. It's not fae, it's not vampires, trolls, I liked reading about a different fantasy creature. But with that said, I feel like it was very annoying. Didn't like the romance insta-love. Also, the character's just ridiculous. It's back and forth. Angst, forced angst, not good angst. Just, no. Also, the guy, so mean for no reason. And then he'll, like, be sweet 2 seconds later. He's very back and forth. The teacher. I'm gonna put in I Expected More From You because Frida's books, I read The Coworker by her and I read The Housemaid, and I liked both those. And then I read this and I hated it. I did not like it. I did not like the plot twist. It was very predictable. And just the whole plot. I did not like. It's supposed to make you uncomfortable, and it did. So I guess that was the point. But I just didn't want to read this. Like, I read it and I finished it, but the whole time I was like, I don't really want to read this. I don't like this. I don't like this. I just didn't like it. Don't have anything else to say. It wasn't a, how do I explain? I don't know. It's not what I think of when I think of a good thriller. Like, a little bit of filler. Okay, moving on. I can't articulate it, but I just didn't like that book. Terms and conditions. I really wish you could scroll up in here, so I wouldn't have to keep dropping it and putting it back. You were good. I'm waiting for you to be great. Sometimes the guy was a total prick, and it made me mad. But overall, it was really cute, and I loved it. And it could have been a 5-star if the guy wasn't so mean to her sometimes. The testing. I expected more. This is my sister's one of her favorite books ever. She never stops talking about it. And me and my sister have very similar tastes. I feel like we like the same books. So when I decided to read this just because she hypes it up so much. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna love it. She loves it so much and I liked it. Why dystopian? I didn't like it. I did not like it at all. It made no sense. So many of the plot things were just there for convenience and didn't make any actual sense. And I like when my plots make sense. So I was a little annoyed by that. A lot annoyed by that. That was actually my main complaint. Moving on. A Tempest of Tea. I love this. It has such bad ratings. I don't know why. Because I love this. I loved the vibes. A tea. Love the vibes of tea. I don't even drink tea, but reading about tea, I don't know why, but I love the vibes. And the romance. And they're pulling off a heist. There's vampires. It just had so many elements of books I love, and I feel like it put it together really, really well. People disagree with me. It has a very low rating on Goodreads. I ate it up, and I loved the characters, the found family, the romances. So good. There was a love triangle in here, but it didn't annoy me. I actually liked both sides of the love triangle, and I couldn't decide which side I was on, because I liked both them so much. So, A Tether Through the Rift. I'm throwing tomatoes. I didn't like it. It was so slow. The main character, all she did was cry. Literally every chapter she was crying. And like I said, in a book about mental health, I don't mind it because it's there for a reason. In a fantasy book, I want to move on. I want action. I don't want her crying in her room every day. And it wasn't even like a statement about depression. If it was, I wouldn't have minded it. But it was just like, she just cries all the time. It's like a character trait. Stop that. Okay, get to the plot. I don't need to read about her crying all the time. The Fault in Our Stars. I'm crying. I'm sobbing. We'll never not sob over this. I was going through my annotations of this the other day because I own this book and I annotated it, and I was about to start crying when I read about the crooked grin. Oh, literally everything about this book sets me off the rails. I will cry. It could also be in You Are the Best Thing That Ever Happened to Me. Also simultaneously the worst thing that ever happened to me. I've never cried as hard as I did reading this book. Crying for literal hours without pause. Because I decided to read the last like after we get to that little twist, I read the whole second half of this book in one sitting because I just could not put it down. And I did not stop crying for a second. Every page was just tears. Tears on the page. So it was like the best thing that ever happened to me. Also the worst thing that ever happened to me. I did not deserve to go through that. Literally had a headache from how hard I was crying. And I had to work the next day and my eyes were bloodshot. So puffy. It was so embarrassing. But, oh my gosh. I'm so glad I read it. Weirdly. Why would I want to go through that? But also, I will never forget this book. I still haven't watched the movie and I don't know if I ever will because I don't think I'd go through that. Again, it was so devastating. So devastating. the archived. Where should I put this one? Okay. You were good. Waiting for You to Be Great. I liked the little twist. It wasn't anything super crazy, but it was just kind of a fun little twist. And I like the plot. I really like the idea of just, like, she's a library or a librarian for dead people. I just think the concept was really, really fun. V Shop just knows how to do it. I don't know. But I'm waiting for you to be great. What word? Because at the beginning I wasn't super attached to the characters. In the second half, I did get more attached. I feel like the second book has more potential. I just got it at the library. I'm gonna read it soon. But the first book, in the beginning at least, I wasn't attached, so that dropped the rating a little bit. I said it before, so I still enjoyed it. The Deal. You were good. You were so good. But you weren't great because there's misogyny. Misogyny, not like other girls. Slut shaming. Just hating on other women. I love Garrett Graham. Garrett Graham, he does not slut shame. Okay, all the slut shaming was from the girl herself. Girl, support your own people, come on. And Garrett Graham, though, he's one of my favorite male characters ever. He's so funny. Literally would be laughing out loud at things he said. Not even joking. He was so funny and just so unexpected. Like, some of the things he said were just so unexpected, and I'm like, how did this man think of this? How did the author think to write this? I was cackling. He's so funny, and I love him so much. I wanted to... so badly I wanted to give this 5 stars, but I couldn't because of the misogyny. And I cannot give a book with that much misogyny a 5 stars. Everything about this book, though, I loved it. If it didn't have misogyny, easy 5 stars. I loved it. The Devil to Pay. This one I did love. This one I loved, and there was no misogyny, so I can't feel guilty about loving it. I Love You. One of the best historical romances I've ever read. Not my number 1, but maybe my number 2. If we're talking plain historical romance, not like fantasy historical romance, just historical romance, this was amazing. I love the characters. I love the romance, the banter, the snark. The guy was so fine. Everything about it, I ate up. There was no need for me to say it 3 times. I don't know why I did that. The 5-star weekend. I'm throwing tomatoes. There was so many issues in this book, and then at the end, I feel like it was not resolved. I feel like a lot of the issues were just kind of forgotten and glossed over, and I remembered, so I wanted more closure, and we didn't get that. And I also feel like there was the friend group, if you can even call it that, was so toxic. They all hated each other, and then at the end, they're like all going on vacation together. And I was like so confused because they literally didn't like each other, and they spent half the book complaining and hating on each other. I just don't get it. I don't know why this is so popular. It's working for some people. It didn't work for me. I loved Brooke, though. Brooke was the sweetest ever, and I love her. Oh, also the daughter in this was so horrible. Hollis was great. Hollis was a great mom, great woman. Her daughter was awful. Horrible. In the daughter's arc? What arc? This is like such a minor spoiler. Okay, if you don't want a minor spoiler, skip like 20 seconds. I'm gonna reveal in 3, 2, 1. She's having an affair. Okay. And at the end, she's like, okay. Actually, no. He breaks up with her. She doesn't even break up with him. He breaks up with her. And he posts a picture with his girlfriend. And she's just like, I'm just gonna let them be. Girl? She's supposed to have character development. She should tell the girl. She should fess up. Are you kidding me? She's gonna let them be together after he was cheating on her with her for so long? Are you kidding me? So mad. And this is like a character I'm supposed to root for. Excuse me. I won't. She's also horrible to her mother. Horrible to other women. Just awful. The Cruel Prince. You're going and I love you. I love you. I love this series. I do. I haven't read the 3rd book yet. I read the first 2. and I love them. They are amazing. I love Jude. I love Carden. This book had me giggling. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna put it up here. I am. I don't care. Because this book had me giggling, had me blushing, kicking my feet. I was thinking about Carden all day long. Okay, that when he wrote her name a million times, oh my gosh, I have that annotated and I know the exact page number because I revisited it so much because I was just like obsessed, and I sent pictures to my cousin. I was like, oh my gosh, look what he did. Look what he did. He wrote her name. Okay, I love it so much. Now, anytime a character will write the other character's name, I'll be like, oh my gosh, he built a card in Greenfire. Like, I love this man. And the plot twist at the end, there's also so much plot. And the romance is controversial. It is a bully romance, and I usually do not like bully romances. I don't know why. The writing or something was really good. I don't know why in this book I could excuse it, but I ate this book up. I thought it was so addicting, and the plot twists at the end were nuts. There were so many of them, and they were so good, and just the romance, I ate it up. I ate up every second of this book. The Garden. This is a short story. It's in the same short story collection as The Six Deaths of Saint. Where did I put? Oh, this one. After I read this, I decided to read the other short stories in the collection, which I decided to set like 2 days before the end of the year, so I didn't read them all. I've only read The Garden so far, and I want to take my time with them. I don't want to binge them just because I feel like short stories are just like sit with for a little bit and think about. But I read this, and it was just fine to me. It was building up to this garden thing, and then you don't even find out what the garden is, which I thought was kind of silly. Like, why are you going to build up to it and then not do anything with it? Just kind of pointless. Felt like a pointless read to me. But the writing was really pretty. There were some beautiful quotes there. The Goal. I got confused with the book series. Okay, this is Grayson Logan. This is Allie and Dean. Okay, so this is Sabrina Tucker. I love them. I love them. Yeah, I'm putting them in I love you. I love this couple. I love them both as individuals. I love how supportive he was of her. He was amazing. And they're just so mature. It's a college romance, and sometimes you get some immaturity with that. They were so mature. And she, unlike Wellesley over here, is a girl's girl. And I love that about her. And I love him. I love them. I just love them so much. The guest list. This one I'm gonna put in You Were Good, I'm Waiting for You to Be Great. Just because the pacing could have been a little faster, but I did really, really enjoy this. It was really good, and I feel like Lucy Foley, I've only read one book from her, and it's this one, but I feel like she's so intentional about her writing. Like, she'll write certain sentences, and then you think nothing of it, and then 5 chapters later, you realize the significance of that 5-letter sentence. Okay, I just feel like she's very intentional with her writing, and I really, really like that, because then I can, like, look back, and I don't know, it's just fun for me when authors drop breadcrumbs like that, and then I realize the significance at the end. I just love that sort of stuff. The Heiress. This one I'm gonna put in fine. Didn't like the first half, loved the second half. Lots of family drama, very toxic, but so fun at the end. In the beginning, I didn't care about anyone, and I was kind of bored. But then it got really fun. It felt like 2 different books, honestly, because the first half I just felt so different about the first half than compared to the second half. It is good. The second half was like an I love you. The first half was like an throwing tomatoes. So it's just meh, whatever in the middle. The Lux. I'm gonna get judged for this because it is so like just ridiculous and silly, but I had such a good time. Like, it's so meaningless and pointless. Nothing deep at all. I just had fun. I guess I was in the mood for it. I don't know why I liked it so much. I feel like if I'd read it at a different time, definitely would not have given it 4 stars, but I gave 4 stars. Yeah, I was just entertained. Okay, sometimes you just want that silly, pointless book. as a palate cleanser, and I guess I was in the mood for it at the time I read it. I ate it up. It was so stupid, but I liked it. And the mistake, this was cute. I'm gonna put this one with the deal. It was cute and fun. It just wasn't my absolute favorite. I feel like it could get a little cringy at times, but it was cute. I really like Logan and Grace together. They're adorable. The Ministry of Time. I expected more. It's so hyped up. I think didn't it just win Best Sci-Fi of the Year? Yeah. And I got, I think, second place in debut novel for the Goodreads Awards in 2024. And also Haley Fan gave it 5 stars, and a lot of other booktubers and friends gave it 5 stars, or a super high rating, so I expected a lot. Did not live up to it. I feel like it was really slow. A lot of meandering. Am I even using meandering in the right sense? I really don't use that word. I don't know why in this video I've used it so many times, because this is not a word I use. Wander at random. Oh, proceed aimlessly or with little purpose. Yeah, okay, so I am using it correctly. I know what I'm doing. It's just weird that I've said that word like 20 times in this video, and I haven't used that word in like a year. For this, I don't know why it's coming out of me right now, but lots of filler, really, really slow. And I feel like the stakes were not high enough considering what the plot was, if that makes sense. I just expected it to be more high stakes than it felt. The rescue. Okay, I'm gonna put it in meh fine. The first half, I really liked the plot. And it was really sad, and like, I was on the edge of my seat, and then after that plot was concluded, I was so bored, and the guy needs massive therapy. The third act breakup and everything that was going on, so unnecessary. Go to therapy. I think he needs to go to therapy, because he's got issues that he needs to work on before dragging someone else into a relationship, and like, making her go through all this. And she was just so perfect. She kind of bored me with how perfect she was. Like, she was great. A little too great, though, is my issue. Like, she was perfect. Never made a mistake, so patient all the time. Never does anything wrong. No flaws whatsoever. I don't like characters like that. They're just boring to me. Did I put that in the right? Okay. The right swipe. Meh, fine. I don't have anything to say about it. It was just okay. Like, it wasn't terrible. It wasn't great. The rule book. I had a fun time. But I feel like sometimes the guy he annoyed me a little bit. For the most part, I thought this was a fun time. The wives. Ooh, I love. This was probably one of the craziest books I've ever read in my whole life. And I loved it. It was so wild and wacky and fun. It was so fun. It was so fun. Everything about the book was just nuts. And I ate it up. The score. Throwing Tomatoes. This one was so physical, no emotional. I don't know why these characters said I love you, because all they love is each other's bodies. Don't know what they like about each other as people. Didn't see any of that. It was just sex scene after sex scene. Nothing else. The women. This one was good. I'm waiting for you to be right. Controversial. Everyone else loves this and gave it 5 stars. I gave it 4. Okay, not a bad rating. I still liked it, obviously. But I feel like the second half felt like a soap opera. Like, there was some things happening that I was just like, I feel like I just watched an episode of General Hospital, which I love General Hospital. In film format, in book format, I feel like it's ridiculous. I don't know why. In film, it just translates better. Okay, but some of the things that happened in the second half of this book felt like a soap opera, and not in a good way. I just felt like she was trying to do too much, and it just felt like kind of drama corn. You know what I'm saying. I don't know if I can say that though. But that's what it felt like. It was just like step back after step back after step back. No good. no break from the setbacks, you know, and I like books that are a little more balanced, like you can have sad stuff but also have some happy, some success. And I feel like the second half was just awful. This book did make me cry though. It did. Not as much as this, or this, but there was, I mean, she's a nurse in a war. You know people are gonna die. It was sad. It was a good book, and I appreciate how much research went into it. The second half wasn't my favorite. This is how you lose the time, or another controversial take of mine. But no, nope. It was just too confusing. Like, after I read the book, I had to Google what I just read. I was confused. Maybe I'm an idiot, but I don't like books where I have to Google what happened. Like, when I read a book, I want to know what I'm reading. Otherwise, what's the point? In this one, I was just very confused for a lot of it. And the writing, there were some beautiful quotes, but also sometimes felt a little bit, I can't think of a word other than pretentious. I didn't want to say that because it sounds mean. But like, that's like the closest words I can think of to try to say what I'm trying to say. There were some beautiful quotes. They're so much more talented than I am. Pretentious is not the right word. I just can't think of like a better word. Okay, I'm sorry. That sounds mean. That sounds so mean. I'm sorry. It was not a favorite of mine. I can see why people like it. People smarter than me probably like it. It's a book for the smart people, and I am not one of those people. I didn't understand what I was reading. And Twisted Games. I don't know if I should put this one in I Love You or You Were Good, I'm Waiting for You to Be Great. Okay, it can be an I Love You because I'm pretty sure I did like it more than Sunday Disposition. If that can be up here, this can be up here too. It was really fun. I love Bridget and Priest. Their spice, the spice is great. And the banter, I love a Grumpy Sunshine. I love it. And a bodyguard trope, I ate it up. It was great. This summer will be different. You Were Good, I'm Waiting for You to Be Great. I really like this, but not for the romance. And when I'm reading a romance, I want to like the romance, but I like this for the friendship aspect. If this was literary fiction, it could have been a 5-star, but because it's a romance book and it was focusing on the romance that I didn't really care for, it was a 3. So sad to say that, but it was good. I did like it. I really, really did. The romance, I just feel like, was very surface level though and boring. But I loved the literary fiction aspects of this so much. Twisted Lies. Okay. Now I really stand by my decision with Twisted Lies, or Twisted Games, because Twisted Games I like significantly more than Twisted Lies. Twisted Lies was good, but it wasn't great. I liked some of the banter, but I just feel like I did not get emotionally invested in the characters of this one. Couldn't relate to them at all. And that's why here. It was good, but it felt like I was reading a book and not like I was in the book. You know? The Very Secret Society of a Real Killer, which is, this one was so cute. So cute. The beginning though, I was really bored by, but I pushed through, and then I loved the second, and I fell in love before the second half. Like if you divide this book into thirds, didn't love the first third, loved the second and third, if that makes sense. It was really, really cute, and I adored it. It was just the beginning, I don't know why I was really bored by it, and I didn't think it was cute. I thought it was kind of annoying. Not annoying, boring. But then I loved it, so. Ugly Love, Throwing Tomatoes. Not a fan of this one. I didn't like the relationship. I felt like Miles was not ready to be in a relationship. I feel like he should just go to therapy. And I didn't like the romance. I didn't like it at all. I feel like it was kind of toxic, and I didn't like how much of a doormat Tate was. She kind of just let him walk all over her and use her, and wouldn't say what she meant. It was just kind of frustrating. Unfortunately, yours. I'm gonna. I don't know if I should put it in my fine or you were good. Okay, I'll put it here. It was cute, but some of the. He kind of annoyed me because he'd say mean things to her and be like, oh, why did I say that? So stupid. But he'd do that like a lot. And it was just like, maybe stop talking and think before you speak. Okay? Because I got really annoyed. Because he'd do that. He did that so many times. He'd say something so mean to her and then he'd be like, I'm such a jerk. Why did I say that? Like, stop saying that. Stop talking to her like that. Like, it's not hard. But it was cute for the most part. Vow of Thieves. I expected more. I really like Dance of Thieves. Where did I put Dance of Thieves? Actually, I forgot where I put it. You were good? Yep, there it is. There's Dance of Thieves. Okay, they were right. This one, I wanted it to focus more on the romance than it did. I feel like it was way too political heavy, and I don't mind political fantasy. As you can see, I like the Cool Prince. Love it, in fact, but this one was just way too heavy on the politics. And I got really bored. And that's all there is to that. Two Truth and a Lie. Oh my gosh. Okay, there it is. I don't know why I couldn't get that. Same spot. We already talked about that. We're not going to talk about that again. War on Christmas. Fine. Just didn't feel like anything new. The banter was sometimes good, but sometimes just kind of, it was like lighthearted. I don't know. It just felt like very basic banter. I expected wittier banter than I got. And the characters, they felt like characters and not like real people. Which is not what I want to feel. This is controversial. I'm throwing tomatoes. I felt like this was so boring. This is one of the most boring books I've ever read. And like there would be some profound lines, and that's great, but I just wanted more. Where's the plot? Where's anything? It was just so boring. So much boring stuff about owning a bookstore. And I love the idea of owning a bookstore. You'd think I'd want to read about that, but the way it was written here was so incredibly boring. And I didn't want to read it. It read like a self-help book. Was not a fan. When Among Crows, I really liked. It was very impressive to me because it was really short and she crafted this amazing world. It's so short. I don't know how she made this world so deep and detailed and so well thought out. And there was also plot and the characters I liked. It was really, really good. It's not that I love you. I just feel like maybe because it was so short, I didn't get as attached, but also that's not an excuse. I loved The Sixth Death of Saint, and that's 31 pages. So, I'm not really sure. I just didn't get as connected to that one. Where Sleeping Girls Lie, I'm gonna put in Methline, because I only really liked the ending. Like, when everything got revealed and everything was going down, that was great. That was fun. The rest of it, that was very slow, very dragged out, lots of filler, and I was bored. Where the Dark Stands Still, I'm gonna put in I Like You. I like you a lot. What was it? You were good. I'm waiting for you to be great. I couldn't think of what the tier was. I loved the first half of this, and I thought it was gonna be 5-star, and then it just kind of died down, and it wasn't. Like, the romance didn't hit as hard as I thought it was going to. In the beginning, I was so excited to see how it would play out, and I feel like nothing lived up to my expectations from the beginning. So that was disappointing, but I loved the vibes of this. It's really, really good. Probably like 4.25. It's really good. And better than most of the other books I have in this tier, even though it did let me down like a teensy tiny bit. I think my expectations were just way too high because the beginning was really drew me in for whatever reason. It was still really good though. And I love the atmosphere. It's very atmospheric and very woodsy, and the vibes were just immaculate. I really liked it. The Wicked King. You guys already know. Well, maybe you don't, actually. I'm gonna put this one in I Love You. I feel like this one didn't hit the same as The Cruel Prince. I don't know if The Cruel Prince just hit harder because it was the first introduction to these characters, but I did definitely like The Cruel Prince more than The Wicked King. The Wicked King was still good though. Still ate it up. And then almost done. Almost there. 6 was left. Which of Wild Things? I don't know if we should throw potatoes, tomatoes, or methvine. It's in the middle for me. Okay, let's put it in methvine because the romance was cute. The main reason I didn't like this is the sister. And a lot of this book focused on repairing the relationship between the sisters. And one of the sisters was just abusive, and I did not like the fact that that it was like portrayed that she should try to fix this relationship, because her sister is horrible, physically and emotionally, verbally awful to her, and I just feel like the right thing to do would have been to cut her off, and not to try and repair this relationship. It was just it was not a relationship that I think should have been repaired, and I didn't like that it was portrayed like it should have been. Like, family does not trump everything if the family's abusive. And the sister apparently got a book. Will not be reading that because I don't care if she's character development. I'm not going to read about an abuser. Within these wicked walls, this one was, I'm going to put it here because I feel like most of these books I like more than this one. It was good, just not memorable. Like, I haven't thought about it since I read it. I did like the gothic vibes, but I just didn't get attached to either of the characters or even the relationship. I was just like, okay, like, it's fine, but not great. Wild Love. I'm just gonna put it in You Were Good. I liked it, didn't love it, didn't get super attached to the characters, but there were certain scenes that I was like, oh, cute, you know. Mr. Wrong Number. I'm thinking. Okay, I'm gonna put it in I Expect So Much More From You because I love betting on you. I love Better Than the Movies. So I wanted to read more than Painter, and then I picked this one up and I was so annoyed. The girl, the way okay, she's living in his house. Okay, and the way she treats his house is so disrespectful. Like, making such a mess. He is letting her stay in her house free of charge, mind you, and she, like, destroys the house. Does not respect his wishes about his own house. Babe, you are a guest. I just felt like it was so disrespectful, and like it was supposed to be like a squirty, funny thing. It was not funny to me. She's very rude. I would never act like that in someone's house. I would have kicked her out. He has more patience than me. He's a better person than me, because I cannot deal with that. She just really annoyed me. Anyway, this is Zodiac Academy as told by the boys. Did I not put the other Zodiac Academy book in here? Did I miss that one? I'm pretty sure I read that this year. Okay, yeah, I knew I forgot something. Yeah, so I did read Zodiac Academy this year, but it would have been in Throw Tomatoes. Didn't like it. Didn't like the relationship. Didn't like anything. I didn't like the romance. Didn't like the heroes. Everyone felt like the same person. Like, all the guys felt like the same guy. All like alpha male and the heroes. They're just kind of awful bullies. And then the girls also just felt the same. The two twins can't even differentiate between them. And it was just so ridiculous. Like, the side characters, everything was just so silly and not in a good way. Anyway, then I read Zodiac Academy as told by the boys. Why? I don't know why I do these things to myself. I can't quit a series, I told you, but I'm throwing tomatoes. This didn't add much to the books, I feel like. I don't know, I thought maybe I'd, like, understand the boys better and would maybe like the series more if I liked the boys better, but I didn't even like them better. I still think they're terrible. So that was kind of useless. Didn't like the characters, they're bullies, awful. You with a view! We're ending on a good note, thank goodness. Thank goodness. I'm putting this straight in I love you. This is such a good book. The writing is very reminiscent of Emily Henry's, and she's my favorite author, so obviously I loved it. I really want to read the X-Files for her, but like the banter between this couple, the vibes, they're going on a road trip together, and I love road trips so much. My favorite way to vacation is by road trip, so I was just loving the vibes and everything, and I just really, really liked it. It was deep, it was emotional, there was good smut, everything was there. It was a great story. The banter, immaculate, the tension, it was perfect. It was perfect. Okay, now let's look at this. Is there a way to download? I want to see it all at like one, because this is, like, this just doesn't look good. Like, I want to see the whole thing. It's like, I'm on my second this. Oh, presentation mode. What? Did I just get rid of it? Yes, I did. Okay, well, you saw it. That sucks. That really sucks. It's fine. Okay, you already saw it. Goodbye. That's the end of the video. That was mine. Well, I guess I had read 196 books. I forgot to include Zodiac Academy in here. 196 book tier ranking.